Hi, everyone. This is Lee Willis from Loan Depot, and I have my great friend Nas Afti from Loan Depot, and we have another story of Mortgage Madness.
Yeah, people underestimate how technology is important, and Lee has a story about that, right?
Yeah, so click on the link below, and you will be able to hear my story.
So, Lee, what's your story about technology? Because I'm curious to know.
Yeah, I mean, technology has changed our industry so much. I've been in the industry for over 20 years now, and many of the loan officers realize, and people that have done loans in the past realize, like, look, back in the day, you had to take an application either face to face, in person, and then you had to collect the paperwork. And a lot of times you either had to go to someone's house, pick it up, or they would fax you the paperwork. And unfortunately, fax machines, no matter how good they were, it would always come up like really blurry or pages were missing or whatever the case. And so one of my loan officers back in the day said, "Hey, I got this really complicated deal. The guy owns 10 different corporations. I got to go pick up all the tax returns and I'll be back to work them out." So I was like, great, you know, and he goes off, picks up the paperwork. On the way back, he actually gets into, and there was a ton of paperwork. So it was like 2 boxes full of paperwork, original tax returns, all that stuff, and comes back and gets in a pretty large car accident. No one was hurt, but what happened was the trunk actually popped open and it was windy and the paper started just going everywhere. So you have paper just scattered across the streets. No one's really cared about the paperwork at the time, but ultimately those were all original paperwork. And so when I saw him, I said, "Hey, are you okay?" And he was like, "Yeah, but I lost all this paperwork." And he had to call the client and tell him what happened. And they had to go back to the CPA and try to like recalculate all this, or get the tax returns again, so on and so forth. And it really made a mess of the file. So in today's world, it's completely different. And Anas, tell us like why it's different now.
Well, first, you won't have any paperwork flying into the 405. That's
Yeah.
for a start. And I think it takes a shorter time to review everything. And plus, you're his manager. Probably he wanted to show you the file. He's got to carry 2 boxes of paperwork just to show you the file and drive to you. That's like a waste of like maybe 5 hours, 3 hours. And yeah, it just streamlining the whole process. Borrowers can upload documentation and they can feel that it's a seamless process compared to back in the day.
Yeah, I think most companies now have portals that you can upload the stuff. And the other great thing is the CPAs also have copies of your tax returns without having to pull out originals and just making copies. I remember, like, someone bringing their tax returns in, you're taking out the staples, you're having to put it in the copy machine, it's getting stuck. All that stuff has definitely made the process way harder. And even with the technology of us, like, once it's in the portal, we can send it to processing and underwriting and not having to mail stuff to processing. Because if you didn't have processing and underwriting in your office, you had to mail it or scan it or copy it and send it to the underwriter, which was always, I mean, it would take hours out of your day to do that. So, what have we learned here today on us?
Well, we learned first you don't carry 2 boxes all the way to the other side of the town, and that technology is very important. It reduces the margin of mistakes that everybody does. I assume that by submitting a file, a paper file, you forget a couple of paperwork, your file might get suspended or maybe declined. So we're lucky to live in this age of technology, and I know a lot of the loan officers out there don't even know what is a fax right now.
I agree. So, My name is Lee Willis. I'm with Loan Depot. If you have any stories or questions, please reach out to us. We'd love to hear some of the mortgage madness things that as other loan officers and other companies, have experienced. So we would enjoy hearing your stories. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.